The 2000s were a golden era of football. Before Messi and Ronaldo turned the sport into a two-man show, we had a mix of unique, once-in-a-generation talent, each bringing something different to the game. Some were magicians, some were pure athletes, others were leaders, but who was the real best player of the 2000s? This debate isn't just about stats, it's about moments, the impact, the way they changed the game forever. Ronaldinho didn't just play football, he made it fun. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like watching street football on the grandest stage. His dribbling was unpredictable, his passes defied logic, his goals, like that 1-0 back left strike against Chelsea, was just pure genius. What made him special wasn't just his talent, it was how he enjoyed the game. When he embarrassed defenders, they with a smile on his face. When he played, you could see the joy raining all over his face. Even Real Madrid fans gave him a standing ovation at the Bernabeu. That doesn't happen to anyone unless you're truly special. Over the years, he won 2 La Ligas, a Scudetto, the 2006 Champions League, the 2002 World Cup, and many more. Getting 213 goals, 176 assists in just 591 games along the way. Beyond stats and trophies, Ronaldinho's legacy is embedded into football's culture itself. From video games to advertisements, street football to professional pitches, Ronaldinho's face and swagger made him a global icon. He was the face of Nike's legendary Jogo Bonito campaign, inspiring kids worldwide to embrace the joy of football. His influence transcended sports. He is a brand, a movement, a lifestyle. Even today, his highlights go viral, reminding us of the time when football was not about results, but about the actual magic of the game. After 2006, his form declined drastically. Would you say his style of play relied mostly on match sharpness and instinct rather than discipline? And also, would you also say that if he just had Ronaldo's work ethic, he would have ruled the game for much longer? Ronaldo Nazario wasn't just a striker, he was the striker. At his peak, he had it all. Speed, agility, strength, and clinical finishing. Watching him run at defenders was terrifying. He didn't just beat them, he destroyed them. He had that deceptive change of pace, those ridiculous step overs, and a finishing ability that made him the ultimate number 9. No wasted movements, no unnecessary flair, just cold-blooded efficiency. Look at the 2002 World Cup. Coming back from 2 brutal knee injuries, he's got 8 goals, including 2 in the final against Germany. That wasn't just football, that was a redemption arc straight out of Hollywood. Thierry Henry later said, Ronaldo did things nobody had seen before. He had the skills of a Brazilian street player, but the power of a heavyweight boxer. His stats are unbelievable. 414 career goals in 616 games, averaging 0.67 goals per game. 2-time Ballon d'Or wins in 1997 and 2002. The 2003-2004 La Liga Golden Boot with 24 goals despite major injuries. In the 1996-97 season, he scored 47 goals in 49 games for Barcelona at just 20 years old. Out of all players, Ibrahimovic, known for comments like these.
I was playing also normal against Holland, and today I play also normal, so there's only one Zlatan.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You know Zlatan?
I know, sometimes I think it's his twin brother. Because last Wednesday there was another behavior than today. You play so well today.
Who's the best striker in the Premier League right now?
English or foreigner?
Anyone you like?
I feel Lukaku is strong, Aguero is good, he's all round.
You didn't say yourself.
Lions, they don't compare themselves with humans.
Said, Ronaldo was my idol. He was the most complete striker of all time. Imagine if Ibrahimovic can say something like this about another player, then you know this man was truly special. Even when his knees betrayed him, he still delivered for Real Madrid, averaging nearly a goal a game, banging it out week in and week out. Imagine he didn't get injured. Do you think he'll be the best player of all time? Forget about Messi, forget about Ronaldo. Would you think he would have been the best player on top of the food chain of all players, and not just best player in 2000s? Zidane wasn't about speed or physicality, it was about control. He played football like a grandmaster plays chess. His touch was perfect, his movements was graceful. Watching him in midfield was like watching an artist paint a masterpiece. He made the game look slower because his mind was always 5 steps ahead. When the biggest stages scores, he delivers. 2006 World Cup, he carried France at age 34. 2002 Champions League final volley, 1998 World Cup final, as well as picking up the Ballon d'Or in 1998. Andre Pirlo summed him up the best. When Zidane stepped onto the pitch, you already knew you had lost. But was he dominant over decades? Or was he just a player that shined in moments rather than a prolonged peak? Henry was poetry in motion. He played football like a jazz musician, smooth, unpredictable, stylish. He wasn't just a goal scorer, he was a creator, a leader, a player who could drift out wide, drop deep, and still score 30 goals a season. His peak at Arsenal was untouchable. The way he glided past defenders, that signature curled finish into the far post, he made it seem so effortless, and yet, some things still haunt his legacy. He never quite did it on the absolute biggest international stage. Yes, a World Cup winner, but was he the main man in that run? I beg to differ. And his 2006 Champions League failures still haunt him to this day. 226 goals for Arsenal, making him their all-time top scorer, 4-time Premier League Golden Ball winner, the 2003-2004 season, 39 goals in 51 games, leading Arsenal to a famous invincible run. Arsene Wenger said, "Henry is the most complete striker I've ever coached." But will you say he was the best player in the decade? Or will you just say he was the best player at his club? Gerrard wasn't the flashiest player, but he was the definition of clutch. There wasn't a moment too big for him. He needed a screamer from 30 yards, he would hit it. He needed a captain's performance in the Champions League final, he would drag his team from the dead to get them a win. In 2005, FA Cup final 2006. These are games where Gerrard single-handedly carried their team to victory. But he never won his Premier League. Yes, he doesn't have the technical ability as some of the other players we have mentioned. But if you're talking about a player that single-handedly willed their team to victory, he's at the top. And let's not forget, Jose Mourinho, the special one, the man that won a treble at Inter Milan, the man that brought Chelsea to victories in multiple titles, wanting to sign this man. But would you say his lack of pure ability will put him at a lower rank compared to the other players in this debate? Kaka was unstoppable at his peak. Before Messi and Ronaldo took over, he was the guy. A midfielder with the speed of a winger, the dribbling of a 10, the composure of a striker. He legit made world-class defenders look like average Sunday League defenders. His performance against Manchester United in 2007 Champions League could be considered one of the greatest Champions League performances. Not even great Champions League performance, greatest individual performance of all time. But just like Ronaldinho, his peak was short-lived. Injuries, system changes, and the big money transfer to Real Madrid delayed his dominance. Imagine he just stayed at AC Milan and every team still had a number 10 role. Imagine what he would have been. He could have been number 3 in the debate. Messi, Ronaldo, Kaka. Who knows? Defenders don't get enough love in this debate. But Maldini was football royalty. He was a leader, an anchor, a player who aged like fine wine, played at an elite level into his 40s. At 39, he captained AC Milan to another Champions League trophy, barely breaking a sweat. Unlike other players on the list, his greatness wasn't in highlight reels, it was in his aura, his reading of the game, his ability to completely shut down world-class forwards. He faced the greatest forwards of the era, Ronaldo, Henry, Shevchenko, and he made them all look average. Sir Alex Ferguson wanted to sign him to United, but his father rejected him. Do you know what he said? He said, "My dad was Milan, I'm Milan, and my son will be Milan." Respect that. But can a defender be considered the greatest player of the decade? Or does it belong to only players who scored the most goals, most assists, and had the best highlight reels? Just remember this, in 1994 and in 2003, Maldini ranked 3rd in the Ballon d'Or ranking. So after all this, who was the best player of 2000? Ronaldinho's magic, Ronaldo's dominance, Zidane's elegance, Henry's brilliance, Maldini's leadership. Oh, this is depend on the type of greatness you value the most. It's safe to say, this debate is far from over. But that's why I think the GOAT debate is completely broken. You can watch the video right here to see why I think that.